Hello everyone, welcome back to Velocity Travel with Trish. And guys, I know it has been 2 months and things have been rough. I've had bronchitis for the last month. I have been to 2 doctors in 2 different countries, and I want to say the last couple of days is the first time that I've actually felt like being out and feeling somewhat normal again. So I left Batumi. We left Batumi. I have a traveling companion, my boyfriend Art. We left Batumi about 1 week ago, and we are in Malaysia. And I'm also going to do a follow-up video in regards to how I feel about Batumi and things like that. But I just wanted to do like a quick video and tell you guys thank you for hanging in there with me. This month has been very rough for me. A lot of asthmatic problems. I do have asthma, and then I ended up getting bronchitis, probably from the weather in Batumi, because one day it was winter, one day it was summer, one day it was spring. So I had a lot of issues, had a lot of difficulty breathing, shortness of breath, things like that. But by the grace of God, I'm feeling better, and I have a great support system. Art, he's been there for me. So I just want to follow up with you guys because it's been so long. So we have been in Malaysia for about a week now, and the weather here is, of course, very beautiful. I want to get in the pool, but I can't because I'm still recovering. But right now I'm just kind of sitting here and with my feet in the water. But I'm just kind of sitting here, and he's swimming. But the weather here, it's about 90 degrees. The humidity is pretty high, but it's been raining, like, maybe 4 days out of the week, which I'm fine with that because it cools it off a lot. So yeah, and so far things have been really good here. Like I said, I really haven't been out. We haven't really been out. We live in a building that has a mall on the bottom floor, because we are on the 53rd floor. So there's a mall on the bottom floor, and it has like a food court and things like that, a grocery store or market. Has some other places in there, a dentist, ophthalmology, things like that. So I'm going to be doing some videos on where we live. I'm going to do a complete video of our apartment, of all of the facilities, and things like that. But for the last week, I've just been kind of not doing anything, just resting, taking medication, things like that. But I want to say this, when I got sick, it's always very difficult when you get sick, in another country, because sometimes the unfamiliar can be very scary, right? So I originally got sick when we were in Batumi, and I don't know, I just Googled doctors and I read reviews, and I did see a doctor there at first, and she did, a checkup. She checked my lungs, my lung sounds, and she put me on antibiotics, and, I got a prescription for medication, things like that. And I want to say that for the medication, the doctor visit was like maybe like $110, something like that, including the medication. She was very nice. She spoke English. She spoke Georgian and Russian. It was an outpatient clinic. She did a thorough exam of me, but I felt like I probably should have told her to do blood work. But at first I just started having symptoms of shortness of breath and wheezing and just like a little bit of coughing. So I was like, okay, we'll just do some antibiotics and hopefully, I'll be over it. Okay. So this was like 2 weeks before we left. So I will say, I got really good service there. And like I said, it was about maybe $110, less than $120 for the medicine and to see the doctor. Okay. So then, like, right before we got ready to leave to come here, my symptoms started getting worse, and, I was just coughing all night and, things like that, shortness of breath, having trouble breathing and things like that. And so once we got here, and I did wear a mask, by the way, on the plane, I wore a mask. But once we got here, just one night, I was just having trouble breathing and just coughing a lot and stuff like that. Wasn't running a fever, wasn't running a temperature or anything like that, but just a lot of difficulties. So I decided to Google again, look up another doctor, and I was able to find a clinic here. And I'll put the name of the clinics if anyone ever goes to like Batumi or they're here in Kuala Lumpur. So there was a 24-hour clinic, and I was telling Art, I was like, oh, maybe I need to go to the emergency room or go to the clinic. And this is like 2 a.m. in the morning, but then I felt bad for him, and I was like, oh, okay, we'll just wait till in the morning. So we went to the clinic. The reviews were really good. They had a couple of offices in the city, but this office had only been there for about 3 weeks. So we went to the clinic. There was no one there. They took my passport, my information. I mean, I kind of looked at the prices, and I do have travel insurance as well. But I just kind of looked at the prices, and I was like, okay. So I saw this doctor, Dr. Christina, and, I was telling her my history. I have asthma, I've had bronchitis for the last 3 weeks. My symptoms are not getting any better, trouble sleeping, coughing, things like that. She was very nice. She immediately was like, okay, these are your options. Let's do blood work to make sure that it's, to see if it's viral or bacterial, and, let's give you a breathing treatment. So blood work. I also had a COVID test, rapid flu test, rapid COVID test. We did that. So we did the rapid COVID, the rapid flu, and blood work. And I got a breathing treatment. We did everything. My blood work was normal. So of course I didn't need any antibiotics or anything like that. So, I was there for like 30 minutes. Immediately after the breathing treatment, I started feeling better because I already have like an inhaler. So she was like, just keep using your inhaler. And she gave me some meds. I think I had 4 medications that she gave me. I ended up having to get a steroid and a cough syrup. And I forget the other 2. One was like a powder to help with the phlegm, to loosen up the phlegm and stuff in my throat, to mix with water, and then something for allergies because I've been stopped up too. So I could have had like some kind of respiratory thing that kind of like started draining into my lungs or something like that. So I was able to get like those medications and everything, and you guys would not believe, okay? 4 medications, a breathing treatment, rapid strep. No. Yeah, she did a strep test too. A rapid strep test, a rapid COVID test, a rapid flu test, and blood work. My bill, was $65. And that was with the medication. So I was able to get the medication there at the doctor's office. $65 for everything. So that was medication, treatment, seeing the doctor, everything. Okay. So then, I was like, I think immediately I just started feeling better, because I will say this, like after living abroad, like I said, it's scary to get sick. But the worst thing is thinking, especially in the US, people don't like to go to the doctor because they think that, oh my God, they worry about bills. And I didn't have to worry that my bill was going to be like $3,000 or anything. And I got like the best treatment ever. I got top-notch treatment here in Malaysia. She was very professional. She was very nice. And I had her WhatsApp number, and if I had any questions, I could WhatsApp her. And also for Batumi too, I had her WhatsApp number. She checked on me. Even here in Malaysia, she checked on me. So, and some of these doctors even do house calls. So this is what I'm saying. Living abroad has definitely changed my outlook on how things should be in the world, right? We shouldn't have to pay like so much for health care. We shouldn't have to pay just, be scared to go to the doctor because of a bill that we can't afford, right? So it's, when I talk about traveling and budget traveling, I'm not just talking about like the freedom to feel like you don't have to rush about everything, but it's also the freedom to feel okay that if you get sick, it's okay to go to the doctor, to feel like, you can go and have good food and not have to spend an arm and a leg. You can go out and have drinks with your friends. You don't have to work and work and work to pay all of your bills. I work maybe like 6 hours a day, sometimes 5 hours a day. I pick my schedule, things like that. So I have more time to actually enjoy those things. So that's what my channel is about, talking about the things that I experience, to help you guys to understand why I live abroad and why, if you're thinking about doing it, these are some of the reasons that make living abroad so wonderful. The people, I'm not judged by the color of my skin or anything. If anything, I'm American first before I'm black, right? And here in Malaysia, people are so nice and diverse. And I will tell you this, if there was a country where I decided to stay and to be able to get like a visa, an extended visa to live like permanently, I would definitely probably choose Malaysia because, for one, it's very diverse here, right? People here, they're of all skin colors. And the reason why I say that is because I'm able to get products for my hair, for my face. The food is very diverse. I can get anything that I want to eat here. They have fresh fruits and vegetables and things like that. So this is what living abroad is about. It's not to brag, to say that life is easy, because it's not. I've been sick. Things are not always like hunky-dory, but I will say that my life is a lot easier. It's a lot less stressed, So I can afford to live a good life and not have to worry so much about bills or trying to climb up, the ladder to be this or to be that, or to even worry about what people care or how they feel, right? So yeah, guys, this was just a video to let you know what has been going on with me, and hopefully in the next few days, I'll be bringing more videos and things like that. We're going to be going to some nice restaurants and going to some very interesting places. So thank you guys for hanging out with me, and thank you guys for sticking with me. And I promise you, I'm going to have more content coming soon. All right. Thank you for tuning in to Batumi Travel. Have a good week. Stay blessed and stay encouraged.